DreAllDay.com.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That's that go-getter energy that moves anyone out there to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one show, one masterclass. That is this one right here. That is known as Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic, how to create wealth. Yes, how to create wealth. People tend to think of certain terms such as rich or wealthy as being solely about the numbers that you have in the bank. But you're going to understand by the end of today's masterclass that wealth is much more than that, and actually doesn't even have anything to do with the numbers that you have in the bank. So it makes sense, since many people think that rich and wealthy are about how much money you have, it makes sense that many people who are talking about wealth or talking about rich, quote unquote, yet don't even know what the hell it means. They fail to accumulate wealth. They fail to become rich because they don't even know what it means to become it. They don't even know what the definitions of these words actually are and how they are measured. So today we're going to address the wealth side of things. How do you create wealth in life? I'm about to tell you right now, even if you feel like you've been terrible with money all your life, or you're broke right now, or you don't know anything about money, and you don't think it's in your realm of possibility to be wealthy, I'm here to tell you that you can create wealth right now where you are from your very seat at this exact moment. And the only reason why you think you can't is because you don't even know what wealth is. By the end of this class, you will know exactly what it is, and you'll know exactly how to create it. And if you're ambitious, you can actually start creating it right now from this moment. And actually, if you're good at what you do, if you've been listening to this show for any amount of time, if you're a person who works on your game, I will prove to you that you have probably already created a ton of wealth already in your life. You just didn't recognize it for what it was. But by the end of this, you'll be well prepared. So you're going to be happy that you listened to this one here today, as you would be with every class we put out. Point number one, today's topic, once again, is how to create wealth. First, let's get a definition of this word so we all know what we're talking about and we're all on the same page. Definition of wealth: an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Let me say it again. An abundance of valuable possessions, and it says or money, but money is a valuable possession. So we could take that or money part out and just leave it at that. An abundance of valuable possessions is wealth. All right. What's value? Well, it depends on who you're asking. All right. Different people value different things. If you have an abundance of valuable possessions, you have wealth. And understand that wealth is a lot more, again, than money you have. Now, is money a valuable possession? Yes, but you can have a whole lot of other things that are valuable possessions that are not money. Would you agree? Now, I want to read you a quote that I got from a guy by the name of Paul Graham, who is the creator of Y Combinator, which I'm not sure if they still do their thing, but Y Combinator was a big, basically venture capitalist firm. They would have entrepreneurs come through there and pitch their programs and pitch their businesses, basically kind of how Shark Tank does, but it wasn't a TV show. And they would actually nurture these business owners and coach them through their startup rounds and get them financer money and venture capitalist money and build up their businesses into something viable. Now, Paul Graham, being the creator of it, that's not actually where I found out about him from. I found out about him because Paul Graham has written a ton of essays online where he basically shares his philosophies on business, on life, and things like that. And he had one called How to Create Wealth. Paul Graham's essay is called How to Create Wealth. Just go Google it, Paul Graham, and just type in the word wealth, and you'll see it. And I'm going to read a quote that is directly from that essay right here. Quotes, this is from Paul Graham. If you want to create wealth, it will help to understand what it is. As I told you already earlier in the show, that's a side note by me. Wealth is not the same thing as money. Wealth is as old as human history, far older, in fact. Ants, the little insects, they have wealth. Money is a comparatively recent invention. Wealth is the fundamental thing. Wealth is stuff we want. Food, clothes, houses, cars, gadgets, travel to interesting places, and so on. You can have wealth without having money. Close quote. Now it's back to me talking. Wealth, in other words, based on Paul Graham's explanation, wealth equals something people want. That's all wealth is. If you're a grocery man and you have groceries in your store, are there people out there who want to eat? Yes? Okay, then you have wealth. If you're a car salesperson and you have these cars available for sale, are there people out there who already have cars, don't need one? Yes, but there are people out there who don't have cars and want one? Yes. So do you have wealth? Yes, you do. So wealth, again, is relative to who needs the value that you're offering and who sees it as value and how much value do they see in it. All of those are the measures of your wealth. Wealth is just something that somebody wants. If you have something people want, you have wealth. All right, now, before we even move on to point number 2, let me ask you, do you have wealth? Now, how much wealth do you have? Do you have things that you have created, things that you represent, things that you own, things that you can share, that there is someone out there in the world who actually wants that? If the answer is yes, then you do have wealth. Now, your challenge may be figuring out how to convert that wealth into some other things that you want, because you may have so much of that thing, but you want to exchange it for something else. Well, there's ways that you can do that, and we're going to talk about that as we get deeper into this masterclass. Again, the first point, wealth is just something that people want. If you have something that is of value to other people, the definition of wealth, again, an abundance of valuable possessions. That is wealth. Now, where does the money come in? How does money fit into this whole equation of wealth? And why do many people conflate money and wealth as if they're the exact same thing when they're not? Let's move on to point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is how to create wealth. Understand that money, this is point number 2. Money is just a way to move wealth around. That's all money is, because money is a valuable possession. So if I give you $5, now you have that valuable possession. I have moved that wealth from me to you. For an example, if I was a used car salesperson, or let's say I'm not, let's just say I have a used car and I just want to sell mine. So I guess I'm temporarily a used car salesperson. I got my used car, I want to sell it, and you need a car. You want to buy it. You have money, I want the money. We use money as a medium of exchange, so I can trade my wealth, the used car, for your money, which is also wealth, your whatever amount of money I want to sell the car for. We both get what we want through a wealth exchange. I want the money, which is the wealth that I value. You want the car, which is the wealth that you value, at least in that moment, in that circumstance. People confuse money and wealth because they understand neither one, which again can partially explain people's inability to acquire either. They don't even understand it, which is why they fail to acquire it. What you need to understand is wealth is a valuable possession. Money is just a means of transferring. So money goes under the umbrella of wealth. If wealth is up at the top, at the top of the chart, money is just one way that wealth is exchanged. You understand? Money is just one form of wealth. Food is a form of wealth. Information, knowledge, experience, these are all forms of wealth. A used car, these are all different forms of wealth. Money is just one form. Everyone understand that? But it's a different conversation as to why people don't understand these things. We'll talk about that maybe on a different day. But as long as you have wealth, okay, which is something that people want, you will always be able to earn money. If you think about it, again, if you have knowledge that other people need, you can always earn money, because you can take that knowledge and you can exchange it for people's money. And you don't have to do it one by one. You don't have to go meet each individual person and give them the knowledge that you have. You can get a microphone and you can record it and put it out as an audiobook or a masterclass or a podcast, or you can start a YouTube channel, or you can write books, or you can be a blogger, or you can do a live webinar. All these things allow you to reach many people at the same time with the same piece of information. Here's the great thing about information. You can share it over and over and over again with no additional loss to yourself. It's one thing when I sell my used car to somebody, okay, now I have no car. I can't sell another used car because I don't have another used car to sell. But with things like information, intellectual property, things that you know, or proprietary information that you can share and sell to other people, you can sell 20 of them, you can sell 2, you can sell 2 million, and it doesn't cost you anything extra to sell them. You don't have to acquire more information to sell the same information over and over and over again to thousands or millions of people. That's the great thing that in industry such as, let's just call it thought leadership, has done, is it allows a lot of people to create a lot of wealth with no additional, it's not an additional marginal cost to add another consumer of your wealth. But as long as you have wealth, as long as you have something that people want, you will always have the ability to earn money. Since a lot of people's bottom line understanding is just money. How much money do I have? How much money do I need? No, I can't do these things and that things because I don't have enough money. I never hear anybody say, well, I can't do something because I don't have enough wealth. I'm not wealthy enough, Dre. I can't do it. But I hear people say all the time, I don't have the money. I need more money. I can't do that thing because I don't have money. Or people say, well, I can't do this and that because I don't have any money to spend on that. I don't have any money to invest on that. Well, the thing is, what you need if you want to get things done, is not money, but wealth. Again, money can be one form of wealth, but what you need is wealth. When you have wealth, you can figure out how to get the money. Because with the right amount of wealth, all you need to do is find people who see the same value in your wealth that you see in it, and then you create an exchange. Through your communication skills, you create an exchange with that person, and now you have the money that you want. You exchange a little bit of your value, or maybe all of your value, for that person's money. You get what you want, they get what they want. Win-win situation. Now you can put that money that you claimed you needed, now you can put it out into the economy, and everybody wins again. So everybody wins. Win-win-win situation. You get that? As long as you have wealth, you can always earn money as much as you want. Point number 3. Today's topic is how to create wealth. I want you to understand and always remember that wealth exists in unlimited quantities. The more you can create things that people want, the more wealth you are entitled to have. The more you can create things that people want, the more wealth you are entitled to have. And understand that that wealth can be exchanged for money, of course. This is why you see many people making money on the internet, as I spoke about a moment ago. As opposed to a physical product, what is offered online or something that is digitally transferable, that can often be offered to many people at very little additional cost. No matter how many people consume it, it doesn't cost the creator, the salesperson, any more money to deliver it to one person or to 1,000 people. So I, as a creator, for example, I can exchange my wealth, my intellectual property, my knowledge, my specific knowledge on a specific topic. I can exchange that with 1,000 different people at whatever the cost is that I'm selling it for, as if I exchanged with only one person or 1,000,000 people. I could sell my intellectual property to one person and charge $100 for it. I make $100. Or I could sell that same intellectual property to 100 million different people and charge each one of them $100, and I make $100 million. It is not depending on the way I have my system set up, it may not be any extra work for me to sell to 1,000,000 as it was to sell to one person. Now, I might have more customer service issues and more paperwork that I got to deal with because of all those transactions. But if I got my system set up properly, it's not like I got to shake hands with each one of those 100 million people. All I got to do is give them what it is that they signed up for, and hopefully I got some system of delivering it that doesn't require my physical presence, because that'd be a lot of work serving 100 million people one by one. This is where you see SaaS products, or also known as software as a service or software as a solution products. These are an example. No matter how many people sign up for what they're offering or buy what they're offering, it doesn't cost them any extra to give it to another person and another person and another person, generally speaking. Now, if you go into the hundreds and thousands and millions of users, maybe you need to invest in better infrastructure so that nothing crashes and nothing falls apart. But generally, it's not like every time a new person joins, it costs them a little bit more money. That's not really the way that it works. As long as you can create things that people want, you have wealth. And now when you go to market and you can create exchanges, usually you end up with money, right? When you have something that people want, usually you're selling it for money, unless you're going to barter with somebody. All right, I'll give you my eggs, you give me some gas from my car. We don't usually do exchanges in that way. I give you the eggs, you give me $5, I go to the gas station and pay for the gas. Now, we usually are not exchanging item for item. We're exchanging money for item. And everybody wins, because the person with the money wants the item and the person with the item wants the money, and the economy just wants that money circulating. So that's one circulation. Now be circulated again and again and again. So as long as you can figure out a way to create wealth, all right, it exists in unlimited quantities, by the way. So you shouldn't have a problem creating it. Again, all wealth is something that people want. What do people want? That's the only question you got to ask yourself. And when you can answer it, you can create wealth. So now let's move on to point number 4. Because as long as you can create exchanges, you end up with money, right? I told you that in point number 3. So that leads to the burning question of this whole conversation. Point number 4, the topic again today is how to create wealth. The question is then, all right, Dre, how do you create wealth? How do you actually do it? I've explained to you the underlying concepts here so you understand what wealth means and how it works. Now, how do you actually create it? You want to create some wealth right now? All right, let me tell you how to do it. Find out what people want and supply it to them. That's how you create wealth. Let me tell you those 2 steps again. Find out what people want and then supply it to them. Now, you may not know what everybody wants, because you may not be able to talk to everyone to find out what their needs are. What you need to do is figure out maybe what you have to offer, or at least the realm of what you have to offer, some general space of what it is you have to offer. All right. If you're a psychiatrist, you want to be looking in that space, the general space. If you're an athlete, you want to look somewhere in that general space. If you're a marketer, online marketer, look in that general space, and then go find out through whatever means you need to, what people are needing. Where are people having voids? Where do people see an empty slot in what they have going on? Where do they need to fill a gap? Find out what people need, then you supply it, and with your communication skills, you can create exchanges. The better you get at figuring out what people need and subsequently supplying it, and then subsequently creating the exchange between your wealth and their wealth, you with the good or service, them with the money, the more money you make, the wealthier you become. Because money is just one form of wealth. And the better you get at solving people's problems by giving them things that they value because they need it, you're creating wealth. Every time you create something that other people will need, you have created wealth. That's the way that it works. So if you write a book on a certain subject and you know people need it and you're able to eventually create exchanges, by writing the book, you created wealth. If you make a YouTube video answering a question that you know 1,000 people need an answer to, and you put that video out, by creating the video, you have created wealth. That's the way that it works. And the better you get at figuring out what people need and then creating the thing that solves their need, you are better at creating wealth. You can basically become a wealth creation machine. All you had to do is get good at deciphering what people need and giving it to them over and over and over again. That's all you do. This masterclass you're listening to right now, not this particular episode, but this whole show in general, is a wealth creating machine, because every day I'm creating answers to questions that people have that they may not even know that they have until I tell them. That is a wealth creation machine. Steve Jobs created wealth when he made the iPhone. Not because of how much money he made off of it, but because he realized that people needed it even before they knew they needed it. Nobody knew they needed a smartphone. We didn't know what a smartphone was until he came out with one and said, you need this, and let me tell you why. Now we all got one. How long could you go without it? Probably not 24 hours, not even 12 hours. The better you get at creating wealth, the wealthier you become. It's simple enough, right? This skill alone, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen very closely. This skill alone of creating wealth is a life-changing concept, is a life-changing skill. The better you get at doing this, the quicker you'll get to where you want to go in life. Because if you can create value for other people and you can create money for yourself, all right, what can you not do? I don't have an answer. A comedian creates wealth because people want to laugh. A construction worker creates wealth because whoever is the architect or designer, developer of a building needs some hands to come and actually build the building so that it can be standing and they can sell it and get people to move in or whatever's going on. A porn star is creating wealth because there are people who want to satisfy their sexual desires through consuming pornographic media. A YouTuber is creating wealth because there are people who want to spend time watching YouTube videos and they need something to watch. If you create something and people watch it, you have created wealth for that individual. We can all create wealth anytime we want as long as we know what people need and we are able to make it and offer it. Let's recap today's class, which is how to create wealth. People tend to think in certain terms like rich and wealthy about being about the numbers you have in the bank or how many dollars are in your pocket. Wealth is a whole lot more than that. So it makes sense why a lot of people who talk about rich or wealthy yet don't even know what the hell it means fail to accumulate either one. Point number one. First, the definition of wealth. Wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Wealth is not just about how much money you have. Paul Graham said, if you want to create wealth, it will help to understand what it is. Wealth is not the same as money. Wealth is as old as human history, far older, in fact. Ants have wealth. Money is a comparatively recent invention. Wealth is the fundamental thing. Wealth is the stuff that we want. Food, clothes, houses, cars, gadgets, travel to interesting places, etc. You can have wealth without even having money. Wealth is something that's out of the quote now. Wealth is something that people want. If you have something people want, you have wealth. So how does money get involved? Point number two. Money is just a way to move wealth around. For example, if I have a used car and you need a car, we'll use money as the exchange for what I have and for what you have. You give me the money, I give you the car, we both get what we want. I want the money, you want the car. People confuse money and wealth because they understand neither one, which again explains why many people are failures at acquiring either one. But that's a different conversation. As long as you have wealth, which is something people want, you can always have money. Point number three. Wealth exists in unlimited quantities. As long as you can create things that people want, you can have as much wealth as you want. The more you can create things, the more you can have. There is no cap. And wealth can be exchanged for money, of course. This is why you see people making money online, because as opposed to a physical product, you can create something that is transferred digitally, and there is no marginal additional cost for adding another person, another 1,000 people who are consuming the wealth that you have created. So this is where you see maybe software as a service products or software as a solution products. As an example, the more people who sign up for that membership doesn't cost them extra money every time somebody signs up, but they create more wealth because they're helping more people who see value in that product or that offer or that service that they're giving. And they usually end up with money in exchange. And point number 4, how do you create wealth then? Very simple. First step, find out what people want. Second step, supply it. Find out what people want, supply it to them. You have created wealth. The better you get at this, the wealthier you become. This skill alone is a life-changing skill. The more you understand this and the better you're able to implement it, the more wealth you will create. A porn star, a YouTuber, a construction worker, a comedian, all of these people are wealth creators because they create something that people want and are able to supply it to them. The better you get at it, the more wealth you'll have. You want to be wealthy? Start creating. Work on your game. Dre all day.